Hello, Freitag. This is from the St. Louis Fed. Mike Norman put this one together, but it's just straight out of the St. Louis Fred series. The blue line is the federal debt, total public debt. It's in millions, but it's in millions of millions, so it's in trillions. So it's gone from bugger all in 1965 up to 16 trillion dollars. Now we're looking for kind of correlation, something, okay, that goes up, so what else happens? That's what Mike Norman's trying to do anyway. And here we've got the CPI. So we're kind of asking, with the federal debt going just up and up and up and away, does it make CPI go up? Question mark. And it seems not. That we know about the big inflation in the late 70s, 80s, but since then it's always been, low. So really what we're saying here is the federal debt going up and up and up got bugger all to do with CPI inflation. Right, the next one is federal debt in blue, exactly the same, but this time it's the 10-year Treasury and the interest rate, the coupon. Excuse me. It's trouble with being a beardy person. So we've got the 10-year up in the inflation years, so we can see some sort of correlation between inflation and the coupon on the 10-year. But since then, it's just come down and down and down, while, of course, the national debt has gone up and up and up, so there doesn't seem to be any correlation there. Moving on. Who owns more of our debt? And this is just over the last year, and we've got China in blue and Japan in red. That data, I like it when they use the word data correctly. I don't like to, but I like it when other people do. That data is from the end of September, nearly 2 months ago. The next reading for October will come in the middle of this month. If the trends of the past year have continued and China's holdings have fallen or been flat in the past 2 months while Japan's holdings have risen, it is highly likely that Japan has already displaced China as America's chief international lender at, it'll be at about $1.1.5 trillion. Or however you say a number like that. A lot of money. These are the latest PMI manufacturings for the world, because it's still quite interesting about this world thing. America's still got a chance of not falling into a recession. It's the information, it's really stacked up on both sides. It really is very interesting indeed. And as I've been saying, I know for an awful long time, it's the world that's going to decide. I think if left on its own, America would have done quite well. Anyway, so the PMI manufacturing's up there, the over 50 is expanding, under 50 is contracting. Denmark right up there at the top. I don't know what they do in Denmark, but they obviously do it quite well, or at least doing it quite well at the moment. Ireland still kicking it, but they're still in dreadful doodah with all their debt problems in Ireland. I mean, it's not, this is not going to get Ireland clear of their problems. The US PMI forecasts came in at that. I think they came in slightly lower than that, actually, after this was put together. But just about scrapey positive territory for the United States. China just about positive, and Norway just about positive. So just about negative, Austria, the UK, Switzerland, Netherlands, Poland and Czechoslovakia. Then really rather nastily negative, Germany, Japan, Eurozone comp, all of the Eurozone, Spain, Italy at the bottom. It's just slipping away. I'm not saying they're dying quickly, they're just slipping away slowly. France in the very, very naughty oopsie sort of, and their youth unemployment's gone through 25, it's just under 25% in France. very sticky situation here in France at the moment. See how it works out. Sweden haven't going through a bad time, and the obvious candidate, Greece, down there. I can just read that at 41.8, dreadfully contracting, and just horrible. Where was Spain? I don't believe the Spain ones. 45. It's just the numbers seem wrong out of Spain. With the unemployment they have, things should be worse. So we can presume that the unemployment in Spain actually isn't as bad as it's stated, I think. That's more likely than the rest of the numbers are wrong. So Spain not quite as bad as the unemployment figures show. Right. Where else do we want to go? This is from Project Syndicate. Harold James, I think, wrote this. And it's worth reading. Follow the link and read the whole article. It's about international debt and what's happened in the past. But I'm going to read it because I like the way it was written and I love the way it finishes. Just as countries might want to wipe out their debt and start anew, individuals, people, might like to erase their electronic past in a dramatic act of liberation, or their actual past they might want to do. But that would destroy the useful together with the embarrassing or irrelevant. So we're talking about, there are lots of things we did in the past that we'd like to wipe out, but you've got to wipe out everything. And that's similar for the countries. If they want to do a debt kind of full default, they get rid of that, but they get an awful lot of other bad things that go with it, like credibility. If a clean start is impossible, that's really talking about the countries now. The best that can be done is to try and bury the old information, the debt, with such an inflationary flood of new data that it simply dwindles into insignificance. The analogue in the world of debt negotiation is that a new start that allows borrowing to begin all over again is impossible. Because people don't just say, oh, well, you defaulted last time, oh, well, let's start all over again. They kind of get a bit shirty about it and try and make a point by not lending to you. A clean-up, basically, is impossible. That leaves only one solution. Pile on new claims to such an extent that the old debts appear paltry. Those who cannot forget the past are condemned to inflate it. I like it. Nicely written. And obviously that's what they're trying to do and not succeeding. Bye.